India hikes fuel prices amidst global energy crisis. Petrol and diesel prices in India are hiked by rupees 3 while CNG gets costlier by rupees 2. This is the first fuel price hike in India since 2022. India hiked whenever there is a financial crisis in our family or our essential bills rise sharply. Smart homemakers will cut their fancy spending, avoid luxury groceries, and utilize the saved money to pay up their bills. The same smart homemaker strategy is being proposed by our Indian government amidst the ongoing global energy crisis. As the war in West Asia continues with no solution in sight for the opening of the Strait of Hormuz, Prime Minister Narendra Modi now has placed an appeal to Indian citizens on three things that directly connect with our everyday lives: work from home, save fuel, and don't buy gold. In this video, we look at how India is finally feeling the heat of the fuel shortage due to the Iran war and why should we Indians say gold can wait. Hi, hello, vanakkam, namaskar. Welcome to POV World from Bharat YouTube channel, World Through Bharat's Lens. India imports around 90% of its crude oil and a large share of its LPG and gas. A big part of this supply comes through the Strait of Hormuz, which is now unstable due to the Iran-US conflict. Global crude oil prices have jumped due to the war now. India has so far tried to keep petrol and diesel prices stable but under huge strain. Oil companies are losing thousands of crores daily because they are selling fuel below global costs. In fact, India's state-run oil marketing companies have bled an estimated 30,000 crore rupees in losses since mid-March as they kept fuel and LPG supplies flowing without raising retail prices despite facing an energy disruption. Few days back, Prime Minister Narendra Modi requested Indian citizens to save fuel, delay gold buys, and work from home whenever possible. Also, the Prime Minister himself has instructed his SPGs to cut his convoy by half and induct more EVs into the system, but at the same time not to buy new EVs. Following Modi's call, governments of Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Telangana too are starting to adopting some fuel saving measures. While politicians are turning ambassadors of Save Fuel campaign, no celebrities nor stars from the Indian movie industry, be it Bollywood or Kollywood, seem to endorse this appeal. And it is disappointing for a person like me from the state which has just now made a movie star its chief minister. Saving measure. Cut fuel use appeal from the Prime Minister has been described as an austerity call by media outlets, and it was speculated that the government could push companies towards large-scale remote working similar to that of COVID lockdown times. For starters, austerity is nothing but a set of strict economic policies enforced by a government to reduce budget deficits. Usually it is made through spending cuts, tax increases, or both. Basically, it is a period of living with less. The government has now clarified that there is no proposal to cut government spending nor to reduce welfare schemes or curb infrastructure investments, nor it is considering any mandatory work from home policy for companies or the IT sector. However, the PM's message was clear. Whether it is work, fuel, or money, people should think practically, avoid unnecessary expenses, and also adapt to changing times instead of following old habits blindly. Simply put, the Prime Minister's appeal is just a request, and there would be no strict policies like that of COVID times. The question now that comes up to mind is, saving fuel is fine, but why not buy gold when it is a good source of investment now? India is one of the world's largest gold consumers and the largest importer too. And India imports gold in US dollars. In fact, in the year 2025-26, India spent $72 billion to buy gold, while around $180 billion to buy oil. That is, we imported gold with 30% of the money we used to import oil. That is, if less money goes to gold, more financial breathing room for essential oil imports will come, and there will be less pressure on Indian currency and reserves. And less spending for US dollars to import gold means managing the weakening of Indian rupee effectively. Now, just like a homemaker cuts luxury shopping to afford rising essential bills, India can reduce gold imports so that it has more dollars available to pay for oil imports. As for the fears about petrol pumps running out of fuels are concerned, according to the Indian Ministry of Defense, India currently possesses 60 days of crude oil reserves, 60 days of natural gas, and 45 days of LPG rolling stock, and that India is secure. Now, the important question is, what is in store for we, the common man of India? Petrol and diesel prices have been hiked now, and more hikes can be expected soon. Higher oil prices don't just affect fuel, they affect everything. Transport will become expensive, food prices rise, fertilizer prices go up, and this will directly affect farming. Delivery, flights, manufacturing costs, everything will rise. Simply put, our grocery bill, travel cost, and monthly budget all slowly increase. Now, let's look at the good part. India is still in a better position as compared to other major global economies. Now, while other major powers have been struggling with rising consumer prices and taxations, last year Indians actually saw a sharp slashing of GST, that is goods and services tax, to 99% of our consumer goods. India is that country which overcame the COVID crisis in a manner far better than developed countries of the world. And this time too, Indians can perform much better than our counterparts in other countries. Reports of Indian LPG vessel SV Sunshine crossing the Strait of Hormuz with Indian Navy's support also come now as the light at the end of the tunnel. On the diplomatic front too, Iran's Foreign Minister Syed Abbas Araghchi's visit to India and his meeting with Prime Minister Modi raises our hope for some relief in recent future. Minister Modi's 5-nation marathon tour to Gulf nations also is seen as a good sign. And finally, the meeting between the US President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping is being watched by the world. Minister hope and pray that all these new developments will help India to overcome the crisis smoothly. But at the same time, it is never wrong to be prepared for the worst case scenario. Cut fuel use, work from home, and don't buy gold. Jai Hind. We